Number one, am I attractive enough? It's pretty simple. Okay. This is a performance test. I'm testing to see, do I still got it? Do I still have what it takes? Okay. Am I successful enough? Okay. Can I keep up? Right? Am I confident enough? For some, they might ask the question, am I masculine enough? There's a whole lot of conversations around masculine and feminine energy. We've had our conversations about that here. There's probably more on the way as a result of this series. Okay. Can I lead? Can I initiate? Can I handle rejection? Can I provide? Can I be chosen? Okay. Some other questions that are probably present within the depths of someone who is engaging in relationships from a man's perspective, stepping into the dating space. Okay. So it's not necessarily so much, right, that these questions are asked all the time up front or anything. But again, it's something that whispers in the back of their mind. And this is something that also can give us explanation as to why rejection in and of itself is maybe as challenging to men as it is to women. Because believe it or not, women struggle with rejection too, and sometimes worse. I could genuinely make an argument for it. Okay. But anytime a man is rejected or not wanted in certain degrees and he finds himself doing these things, answering some of these questions that we just asked that he's whispering within, okay, it's not just reading to him that she's not interested or she wasn't interested. It's actually reading to him, and the meaning that's attributed to those experiences is that he failed as a man. Okay. We're not saying that's right. We're not saying that's wrong. We're not saying that's okay. We're just acknowledging for what the common studies may show to a man. When I can do all those things and then I'm still not said, I want to choose you, I want to be with you. Okay. It's not reading to the man, she wasn't interested. It reads to him, I'm not enough. I failed. And maybe to a degree, if I was this type of man, if I was this type of person, then she would have accepted me. Because deep down, the man is a lot of times, not all men, but men, especially men who are coming into spaces that are not healed, men will look at that, read that into it, and constantly continue to shape shift, okay, from one person to another based on the results given. They will shape shift to try to become the man that that he assumes a girl really wants based off of previous experiences from women that don't actually match the one in front of him. Okay. It's kind of constantly bringing up a lot of these bars, these windows, these glass houses. Okay. That's kind of playing a role in that. All right. So a lot of men are not dating to connect. A lot of times they're dating to prove they are enough. That's the first strike behind making dating purposeful. Okay. So as you're listening to this, there's going to be a lot of these things that are going to present strikes to you. And that's good. Okay. Because if you're stepping into the dating space to prove that you're enough, you're dating for the wrong reasons anyway. And we do have to get into a place of healing that so we don't continue to repeat that. Because if you really want to learn how to date healthily, the first step to dating healthily is knowing that you're moving from abundance, not that you need to perform for it. When you choose you, and value what God has already given you, now we're able to exercise that right when it comes to connecting with other people. Dope, Robin. I appreciate you a ton. Have a good flight. Be safe as always. Okay. And so this is really important. All right. Let me give into the second one. We're going to keep it rolling. We're just going to be giving you highlights. Okay. The second thing is that the psychology behind dating for men is that they definitely feel they carry the burden to initiate. Okay. They carry the burden to initiate. Now, this goes into a conversation. Yes, you can have conversations on leadership. Well, he's the man. He should lead. Okay. But I have to tell you, okay, I have to tell you that a lot of you women, perhaps, okay, this is just a thought. I want you to sit with it. And this is coming from somebody who has data on this, by the way. I am not just spouting stuff out. Okay. I'm sitting in front of these clients. Okay. I am engaging with these clients and helping them date healthily. And one of the things that I've learned is that a lot of women tend to believe that them sending a message first is now them becoming the man. I disagree. I disagree. we really want to break this down into the simplest forms, okay, in no way, shape, or form is masculinity and femininity threatened by letters that turn into words that form sentences to have conversation. I'm going to say that again because sometimes we just have to step out of all of these terminologies that we give things, and we just got to slow down a little bit. Okay? Your masculinity and femininity is not threatened because you decided to use letters that formed words that created sentences to engage. Introducing yourself to somebody is not you now being on the pursuit. Being the first to send the message is not you now on the pursuit. And I have a feeling that if you carry that long enough, it will definitely play a role in why you're single longer than you need to be. And I do think that's something that you want to consider, because a lot of times the fear to send a message first has less to do with you not wanting to be the man and more to do with you not wanting to be rejected. And that is a rejection wound. That is not a masculine feminine wound. And that most certainly doesn't give you permission to use that against the person that did not initiate first. This is coming from a healed lens, holistically. As a woman, you can text first. As a woman, you can text first. And if you see something that you want, let me just like kind of free some of y'all, because sometimes we just need some conversations to hear perspectives so y'all can at least feel a little bit more free to make a decision. Because there's a lot of noise out on social media. People talking real loud and people talking with a lot of confidence, but really don't be knowing what they're talking about because they're figuring it out just like us. Okay? But I just want to give you some permission to think on some things for a second. If you see something that you want, and obviously, as you get to know more of that, it aligns with where you are. Why hold yourself back from being loving, moving lovingly, and initiating a conversation? Especially for those of you who might come to the conclusion like, yo, but the man is supposed to reach out biblically first, right? It's all common in there. I appreciate you a ton. Okay. This is something else I want you to consider. So this is a staple scripture that I use for this entire channel, this entire coaching, the entire reason why we exist. 1 Corinthians 13. I'm not going to rattle it all off, but you're very familiar with it. Love is patient, love is kind. It doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always hopes, always trusts, always perseveres. Love never fails. Hey, here's the kicker to all this. None of this has to do with what somebody else is doing for you first. None of it. In fact, this is a love that you are called to live in regardless. So if this is the same type of love that we're called to live in regardless, that later John would repeat, not in the same fashion as Paul here, but he would repeat in 1 John where he says perfect love cast out fear. This term perfect is more to a degree of maturity, wholeness. Does this love not give you permission to take a step first and not live in fear of the rejection that you're crippled by? So if they say no, you can still live, hold yourself together, regulate, and live on. If that was just for men, I really do think Paul would have been like, hey, men only. No, no. This is why rejection has a hold on y'all today. This is why rejection has a hold on you in the worst of ways. In the worst of ways. This is why I genuinely argue, and maybe I shouldn't say argue, but I genuinely put up a perspective that the dating pool is not as bad as y'all make it out to be. It's your beliefs. It's your beliefs. And if we were just willing to engage in an open thought of what our beliefs are and staying curious about them and navigating them, I think we would have a lot of different experiences. A lot that are for the better, not for the worse. So I just want y'all to get to a place where you're recognizing that instead of trying to change the atmosphere around you, you look inwardly and you allow that internal world that God is cultivating in you through a changed heart to affect your external world. And when you do that, rejection actually loses its hold on you. Because nowhere does that love suggest that I'm going to wait to give this love when someone else first shows this love. If love is supposed to be patient and kind, not envious, if love is supposed to move in this way, what it reads to me is that I have the full privilege and leverage to be able to lead in this love. And it's not dependent on them receiving it. That gives me permission to keep living in it, whether it's with them or whether it's with somebody else. My God from Zion. Ooh, I hope this is making sense. I wasn't even planning on going there, but I hope this is making sense. So we have to break this thought process, y'all. That we have to break this thought process, okay? That initiation is solely on one person. We both like each other. We both like what we see. And I think a lot of times it's the ego that's playing a bigger role in it than actual gender roles, masculine, feminine energy, like we might like to ascribe. Okay. And so men carrying the burden of initiation. Okay. Because obviously in traditional dating, men are expected to initiate, approach, message first, lead the conversation because he's a leader. Okay. That's the things that we'll say. Cool. I ain't mad at that. Okay. As a man, someone who desires to move forward in those things, I do desire to lead in that. Okay. But I've also recognized too that I've done the work to overcome any hesitancies that would put in the way of me doing that. A lot of men haven't.
Hey you, so glad that you made it to the end of the video. Okay, if you want to know more of the context behind what was shared in this video, be sure to click here, okay, because that's going to be actually the stream replay as part of our recent series or conversation that we shared live with our audience. Be sure to check those out. We go live weekly across all platforms. And also, if you want to know the deeper meaning behind all that was shared and really the biggest goal of getting you to a place of security, to let go of anxious attachment, but more importantly, to learn why you keep losing yourself in the midst of relationships, because it's a lot simpler than you think. It's going to be explained in one video to get you the results you need right then and there. Explains everything. Be sure to click here, okay, for this video. All right, and I hope to see you over there. Peace.